Hey guys, welcome back to Young Struggles, Old Solutions with Sid and Uncle Ray. This week is our second episode now.
Episode number 2, October 15th,
October
2025.
15th. We got one under our belt and now we're going after it again.
That's right.
We should be better this week. But yeah.
We'll knock this one out of the park, right?
Yeah, we will.
We'll
I can
use
feel it.
our sport analogies.
The sport analogy.
Because this one's going to be full of sports analogies, right? We have a big one.
That's true.
We have a big one that we teased on episode 1.
Okay,
The
yeah.
6 man, right?
Yeah, the 6 man.
And then we also teased your 2 dates.
My 2 dates that I had the mishap with last. But wait, that was 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, 2 weekends ago.
Okay,
yeah.
now I gotta really think. So start with that, and then we'll get into
well, because you got to set it up now, because it was really a unique situation of who and what's and all those kind of things.
Yeah, we're getting right into it. So there's this guy that I've been going out with. He's a college football player, and we've been.
Now, when you say going out, just so we don't have to backtrack, you mean you just gone on a couple dates with? You're not serious or anything?
No, we're not serious.
Or at least you're not serious at this
I'm
point.
not serious. So yeah, we've only gone out actually on 1 date. Maybe 2 dates. 1.5. We'll count it 1.5. I wouldn't even count the other one as a second date. I think it was a little too much on how the first date went. A lot more done than
He didn't just over exceed expectations. He went too
Above
far,
and beyond.
above and beyond, and
too far.
And too far.
Yeah, it was very overwhelming, and so I wasn't really too sure.
So much so that if I remember the story right, he bought you gifts.
Yeah.
And started talking pretty seriously, like he wanted to make you a couple that night.
Yes, first date got me gifts, and then that night, and then throughout that entire night, it was basically talking about how we were going to be together, and that's just a lot to take in on a first date, because that was our first time meeting each other. So I was caught off guard and taken back, and like, oh wow, we've kind of known each other through the years, but we've never met before, so that was our first time ever meeting. It was a lot on the first date. It wasn't your basic get to know you questions.
Right. And it wasn't super comfortable for you. It was kind of a little weird.
I was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. And to give some perspective, because we always talk about that we're members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and so he's a recently returned
Yes, he just got
missionary.
back. Yeah, so that could have played a factor.
Yeah, and we want to tell people there's a chance that could have played an issue. It's not unheard of.
Yes.
For missions presence to send home missionaries, and in their final interview, tell them they need to go get married. And sometimes if you're the girl that was the very next date, that can be a little much. He can be really goal oriented.
Yeah. And like, he's a good guy. He was very much of a gentleman, but it just went too overboard to where it kind of pushed me in the other direction, to where I was like, I'm not really sure about this. And anyways, throughout that time frame, he just kind of will subtly reach back out to me, and I expressed to him how I wasn't really interested, and how it just was moving too fast for what I would normally move on a first date. And so, I kind of thought that he understood what I was saying, but as time kind of went on, he just kept reaching back out, and I don't think he was really picking up what I was putting down.
He was struggling to pick it up.
He was struggling, and he did apologize for going over and beyond, and I was like, it's okay, like we can just be friends. That's what I was just kind of hoping for. But if we refer back to the next episode,
you can't be friends. This was your way of making him arm's length or farther away. So you were trying to slow him down by saying, let's just be friends.
Yeah, but guys can't be friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then I moved back to Boise, and I go to a singles ward. Me and my friend, we find a singles ward to go to. We weren't sure, so we just found like a random one. The one that I walk into, he's there. He's at that singles ward. I'm like, oh my gosh. And like throughout that time, you kind of text a little bit, but like I've made it known that like I'm not interested. And I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Well, we ended up talking, and it was fine, and we were cordial, and things were good. And then a couple days later, he wanted to take me on a date to the rodeo that was in town. And so I was kind of like not sure, because I'm battling this inner challenge in my brain. Like, he's a good guy. Like, he has a lot of things that I want in someone.
Sure.
Like, honestly, but it was just like a lot that happened. And so I was like, I don't know, like that kind of creeped me out. Like, it was just a lot to take in.
And you understand the cultural thing. You've heard this before, that mission presence send home missionaries.
And so I was like,
hey, maybe he just screwed up.
Yes, maybe he just needs some time. And like it was like a month and a half. So I was like, okay, maybe that was enough time.
Right. I was a missionary, and so I came home, and you are messed up. You've in a pretty positive way.
Yeah.
You're kind of like weird socially. You've basically had somebody at your hip for
yeah,
2 years and you live a very idealistic life. And that's one of the goals, is to be a part in that type of mission. And so you come back, you are socially weird.
You know, like last episode, we talked about having grace. So I was like, hey, I'm going to have some grace and I'm gonna, like, maybe give him another chance. But I was also not sure if I really wanted to commit yet. So I told him I'd let him know in a couple days. Well, while I was at that singles ward on Sunday, I also ran into someone else in that ward. And I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. Like, I kind of knew who he was. We've never talked, but we had mutual friends. So anyways, we ran into each other. We started talking at the singles ward. And so then a couple days after that, when the guy asked me to go out with him, and then between that time frame was when the other guy, the second guy that I ran into there, he ended up messaging me.
The first guy is guy A, and this is guy B.
Okay, we'll go with that. Yeah, so guy B, he ends up messaging me like a couple days afterwards, and he's like, hey, I'd love to take you out on a date on Saturday. Are you free? I'm like, perfect. Like, I'll agree to him on Saturday, and I'll tell guy A that I can't. Like, maybe we can move it to a different day, or maybe we don't even have to go out at all. Like, this was my way out kind of thing. And so I said yes to guy B. And then his very next text was, hey. And then he said, guy A's name and I planning a double date. Would you like go on the date with me? And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, wait, we're going on a double date with the same guy. I'm like, did you guys not talk? I was freaking out. So I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, how do guys not talk on who they're taking on a double date?
They are guys. They don't talk. And he really doesn't care who guy A is bringing.
No,
Until you said, hey, we gotta reframe this.
Yes, I was nervous because I was like, I don't want to make guy A feel bad.
Right, because you're being nice and you still wanted to be graceful and kind. I mean,
in the back of my head, still wanted to give guy A another chance. I was just more excited about guy B.
Sure.
And so I was like, I don't want to make guy B feel bad that I'm turning him down. So I was like, I don't know how to handle this. And so I was just like, haha, that's so funny.
By the way, how did you determine how to handle it?
Well, I was at my parents' house and my dad was there. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, like, he just asked me out on the same day as guy A, and I haven't told guy A yes or no yet. I told him I'd let him know, but I didn't know the date that guy B was having planned for me was the same exact date as guy A. I didn't know I was going on the same double date. And he was like, oh no, like.
You could have told them both yes, and you could have just gone out with two guys.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, actually,
you could have flipped the polygamy thing all completely around.
I could have been like, checkmate. No, but anyway, so then my dad was like, well, you probably need to go out with guy A because he asked you first. And I felt that same way too, is I previously didn't fully commit yet, but he did ask me first. So I was like, okay, now I need to figure out how I'm going to tell guy B. And so I messaged him back. I tried to make it kind of like light and funny. It was just like, hey, like, I didn't realize this was the same date. I'm really sorry, but it's actually kind of funny. But guy A actually asked me out before on that same date. I didn't realize it was the same one. But I'd love to see me go out on Friday instead. And then he said, haha, that's so funny. Yes, I'd love to go out Friday. And so me and guy B are going out Friday, and then guy A, we were going out on Saturday.
With guy B.
Well, with guy B, but so then this is what ended up playing out after we lost.
Okay, and this is the rest of the story.
This is the rest. Anyway, so then a couple days afterwards, so after I told the guys what days I was going out with them, it was general conference that weekend. And so guy A texted me like a couple days before saying, hey, I'm so sorry, but my family and I are going to go to conference this weekend, so I'm not able to go to the rodeo anymore. Like, I'm really sorry. I'd love to still go out. And then he ended up giving me 4 tickets to go to the rodeo so that I can still go and then take my friends. I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, thank you. Great. So then he gave me the tickets, which was really nice of him. And then he just proceeded with, I would still want to apologize for how the first date came off. Like, I really am sorry. Like, I didn't mean to come off that way, and that he would love to still take me out. And I was just like, I don't want to lead you on. I honestly just see us being friends for now. Right. So I just wanted to be honest with, told him I didn't want to lead him on.
You understand when you say that you just want to be friends. Now you understand why guys get a little messed up with this.
Yes.
Because you're saying, I just want to be friends, and you don't really want to be friends.
Yeah.
I mean, in your mind, you would like to be friends, but you know the fact is that you can't be friends. Your intent is to be kind.
Yeah.
And let the guy down easy.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what I shared.
That was mostly what I was trying to get to, Sydney, is let people know that you're actually trying to, even though you know that you can't be friends, you're actually just trying to effort towards being kind and nice.
Exactly. He was like, yeah, like, I'd still love to be friends. And so I was kind of left at that. And so then I was like, okay, well, then me and guy B go out on Friday. And it went good. Like, we just went, and it was super casual. We just went and got ice cream. And it was like a really casual date, which I think that's how first dates should go. It was my first date after the last first date. It was a nice relief where I was like, oh, okay. I don't feel like I am like committed to him after the first date. Like it was good. So we ended up going out.
Yeah.
And so we ended up talking a little bit about like, oh, I'm really sorry. And he was just like, no, like that was funny. And he was like, I honestly thought in the back of my head that he might have asked you because I saw you guys together at church, but I wasn't sure, so I thought I would just try. I was like, okay, yeah, like at least you kind of.
Well, are they really close friends or?
No, like that's what I asked him. I was like, are you guys like friends? Like, how did you guys not talk about who you're potentially gonna ask? And he's like, no, like honestly, like he just came up to me in church the week after, and we just started talking, and then he messaged me asking if I wanted to go on like a double date. I think they just became friends from being in the same church. But
from trying to date you.
I might push him away. So then, yeah, we went out, and then Guy B asked me out last week to go out to dinner, but I was in Michigan, so I wasn't able to go. So then now we're going to go out this weekend on Friday.
So what's the status of Guy A?
So Guy A, after I told him I just wanted to be friends, he started texting me again, just saying, hey, how are you? Probably like 2 days after. And like we kind of caught up because he asked about how the rodeo was, and so I told him, and then I asked him about conference. So we just kind of like played catch up and then stopped talking, and I haven't heard from him since, but we'll see. And it's normally a week or two, and then I'll hear from him again. But
sure. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know if I decided, but dating and trying to develop a relationship is a little bit like fishing, where you come out and you throw out some bait. And, okay, well now we got to move to a different spot, but then I might go back to that spot and throw out some more bait. And
exactly.
So it's probably a very poor analogy.
No, yeah, it's like fishing. There's a lot of fish out there.
There are.
Yeah, so I guess now we can stay tuned for Guy B. We're going out again this weekend. See how it goes. I don't know.
Have you told either one of these guys you're doing this podcast?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So don't listen to episode 2. I'm not saying they're both great guys.
And just so we make sure you've always, even in our private conversations, not online, is that they're both good guys.
Both good guys. They both have things I like about them. So we'll see.
Another cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
So to give it some background, we're talking a little bit about the 6 men now.
Yeah. Let's go into it.
So Sydney's an athlete, played college volleyball, and comes from a family of coaches. Her parents are both coaches. Her grandfather's a coach. Culturally in their family, and we're part of the same family, athletics plays a huge role in who you are, what you've become, and
it's a part of the family.
I mean, for good and bad. There's lots of goods about, there's a lot of great things about it. There's a few bad things.
Yes.
Different experiences. And so one of the things that you've just kind of talking, I could tell that you really would like to marry a guy that has a lot of athletic. Not even because you're trying to have kids that are great athletes. I mean, that'd be nice, but it's almost like you just want the same kind of cultural family because you love your mom and dad and they're great people, and you guys have a great family. And
it's definitely on the list. And I have found myself, I think every guy that I've gone out with, besides maybe a couple, have been a college athlete or is a college athlete or used to play. And it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go out with you if you don't, but it's just like, well, if to fit into my family, it would just be nice. Not that you can't fit in. My family's awesome, but
I made it.
Yeah. But just similar of how you look at things and likes. And that's honestly, every conversation in my house is about some sport that's going on.
Right. Because both your parents are deeply involved in athletics and still coaching, doing club and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a big part of everybody's life. You have a brother that's playing college basketball right now, and you have your twin, Riley, who will be here someday.
Yes.
She played college basketball.
Yeah.
So
I do need him to be athletic because our kids do need to be athletic.
A lot of pressure from dad on that one.
A lot of pressure. My grandpa's not going to be too happy watching it if you aren't athletic. I'm like, I had to take it. I don't want you to take it.
That's right. And you have a younger sister, Mac, that played high school volleyball, but played varsity from when she was a sophomore. Made varsity sophomore or freshman, I can't remember.
Yeah.
So it is very much about that in your family. So I'd like to talk a little bit, if you're okay. First of all, you have to be okay because this is somewhat vulnerable to you.
Yeah.
Is talk about the experience that you had with the basketball player from Utah. Let's probably keep it at Utah. We don't want to out anybody. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We don't want to hurt anybody's career. But kind of give me the backstory of the player that plays for a college basketball team and looks like can get substantial minutes.
Well, actually, no. He's the bench player. Well, yeah. So he goes to this big school. Athletes expect a lot from other people. Anyway, so we met through social media. He just messaged me on social media asking me if I wanted to go out. And I was like, well, yeah, like I'd be interested. Like just from the look of his profile, he plays college basketball. basketball is a big deal in our family too.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
just athletics, but basketball is a big deal.
Specifically
Basketball.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, great. Like I'd be interested. He seemed cute. And so we had similar friends. 'Cause I do have some friends that have played basketball there. And so I was like, yeah, like I'd be interested. And so we ended up going out, and it was a great first date. I will say, like after the first date, I was super excited about him. Honestly, my dream date is take me to an arcade, and like I'm happy. And we went bowling, and I love just competition.
Yeah.
And so for that to be our date was super fun. And then we went and shot baskets at the basketball hoop next to my apartment area. And so that was super fun. I did win pig, and also our free throw competition. So anyways, so I was like, great, that's exactly how I would love a date to go. Like that's what I enjoy doing. And so I was like, wow, the first date went good. So I was honestly really excited about him because we got along really well, and he was honestly seemed like such a nice guy. Like the next day he asked me to hang out with him again and go to a football party in the area because like they were having some recruits come in. And so I was like, yeah, sure, like that'll be fun. I was just excited to go see him and hang out with him again. And the vibes were kind of, it wasn't off, but like going to the party was like we didn't know anyone. And so it was just kind of like we walked in with him, and then he goes off and starts talking to all these people because of course he knows them, and like I don't have an issue with him talking. So I brought my friend with me, and we didn't know where to go because we didn't know anyone there. And it's not like he was necessarily introducing us to his friends.
Right. Normally what you would do in that situation is he would be right by you, introduce you to people as he's talking to you, but he's walking away and not really including you in the conversation, leaving you to your own in this social situation of a party.
It was just our first date the night before. So I think it was like, we're not anything. We just went out one time, but we both enjoyed it.
Sure.
So it was like, how do you even introduce me to?
Because he doesn't know how to introduce you, right?
Yeah.
You're not boyfriend, girlfriend, but you're on a second date, but you've talked, and so you're in limbo, and it's crazy. Now, in my generation, 35 years ago, we'd be able to make that happen. Because just because you went on one date didn't mean that because you went out the next night, you were an item. Exactly. It meant you were going someplace, but it didn't mean like you were an item. So it was like, hey, this is my friend Sid.
Yeah.
And her friend Kennedy.
And if he would have introduced me like that, I wouldn't have thought any other way from it. I didn't want to follow him around like I was some lost puppy dog.
Yeah.
Like that's not what I was going to do. It was just stand at his hip and just,
you're not his girl.
No. And so me and my friend just kind of wandered off, and we ran into a few people we knew, but it was just kind of like uncomfortable. So after that day, I was just kind of like, okay, our first date went good, but that was just like a little weird. But also like if we were to go out again, like I'd be interested. And then like a couple days later, he wanted me to come hang out and come over to his house and watch a movie. So I was like, okay, yeah, like that'll be fun. Like, so I went over there and we went and got ice cream, and then I went to his house and we started watching a movie, and we were just like talking, and I did really like him, and I thought he was a good guy. And so then we're watching a movie, we obviously start cuddling a little bit, and then
you were attracted to him.
Yeah, of course. And then
would you have kissed him? I'm just curious. Would you have given him a kiss after that date?
After the third date?
Yeah.
Well, we did.
Oh, you did kiss?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We did kiss, and we're cuddling, and he kisses me. And so then we start kissing, and I'm like, it just kind of like, it gave me weird vibes.
I was going to ask you, when did the weird vibe start?
Then that's when it started, because he kissed me, and so then you're watching a movie, we kind of start kissing. It just started giving me weird vibes because it kind of like felt more as if I was more of an object, not an actual person. That's kind of how it felt, and it just kind of like escalated a little too much of where I would like it to go.
Right. There was too much passion, too much of something. It wasn't passion being not in a positive passion.
Yeah, not that any first kiss should go type way, but for it to go that much for a first kiss, I was like, wow. And so I was kind of like, okay, but in my head, I was just like, but our first date went good, and I like him, and he's a good guy. That's what I kept putting in my head, is he's a good guy. He goes to a good school. He is a member of the church. We have the same faith. We have a lot of similar things. And I was like, he's a good guy. Like, it's fine. So I kind of like probably let it go on
You doubted yourself. You doubted the
myself.
feelings. Yeah,
I doubted myself for sure. And so, but then when I left and I kind of processed it a little bit more afterwards, I was kind of like, I did not like that feeling. And
because he was pretty aggressive. We won't go into exact details, but he was more aggressive than just kissing you.
And it kind of made me feel like, okay, like I had a really sweet, fun date with you a couple days ago, and then now it's this, where it doesn't feel like it's like a sweet, fun thing anymore.
It went from G to PG-13.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a good way of saying it?
Yeah. And so I was a little bummed. I was like, oh, like I was sad about it, because it didn't feel like I was respected when it came down to it. It felt like it was just an object. It was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, another girl.
Another notch in my belt.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I just kind of stopped answering him and wanting to hang out, because I just didn't want to put myself in that situation. So
he kept pursuing you?
Yeah, so he wanted to keep on hanging out. He asked me to hang out again. After that, I left town for like a week, and I wasn't there, so we didn't talk for a good couple weeks after that. Like, I didn't really want to reach back out, because I was like, I'm done. Now, a couple weeks go by and reached out wanting to hang out, and I was just, I don't want too, because I was like, after everything that happened, and then it was like a long time afterwards, I was just didn't feel good about it, and I didn't like the way that I was treated. And I've honestly never felt so disrespected in that kind of way before by a guy. And I think that's what I kept trying to trick my head, that he's a good guy, because like there's guys that I've gone out with that I don't have similar values or beliefs with, but I felt more respect from. So it was like that balance of, I kept on thinking he's a good guy, but
and he fit the profile initially.
He fit the profile.
Because I know a little bit more, nothing horrible. Can we say you weren't sexually assaulted in any way?
Yeah, not sexually assaulted. Like if I would have said something, it wouldn't have gone any further.
Sure.
Like,
so we just want to make sure, because this is a respect thing, not a deal. He disrespected you enough that when you told me the story, I was like, that's not something you should do to my niece. I got riled. It got me thinking. And you've had other weird dating things. And so I started thinking about this deal. Like, I want to give Sydney some advice. And I know these factors exist. She wants to have an athlete. Athletics are important.
Yeah.
All this stuff is the way it is. And so I came up with this philosophy that you really need to be only dating, for the most part, a person that has the attitude of the sixth man in high school, varsity basketball in high school. And the reason is athletes do, especially college athletes, because most likely if he wasn't the best, he was almost the best at his high school team from an early period of time, because of the level of play he is now. You start being told how awesome you are and how wonderful you are. I mean, you've got that. I mean, people are doing that to you too as a college volleyball player, and you get this goes to your head, right? Oh, I'm so wonderful, and people in that particular situation, many times, I think it happens to all of them, where they have girls or people or wanting them to do them favors, wanting to be cool by association, and so it becomes this weird thing. And I don't think every person that plays college sports has this mentality. I just think most of them have this mentality, and it's not so much their fault per se, as it would take somebody of incredible fortitude and self-awareness to be able to take all this popularity and semi-fame and sometimes large fame to not think they're awesome.
Yeah, and not think it's all about them all the time.
Right. And so I thought, well, the person that really loves athletics is that guy that's the sixth man in his varsity basketball team, right?
Yeah.
No one's really telling him very often. I mean, unless he's playing at some huge high school program, but like around here.
The sixth man gets overlooked.
Yeah, the sixth man gets overlooked, and most of those six guys are just excited about being there. They love athletics.
They work hard.
They work hard, and they're not told they're awesome every moment. They're told that they work hard and they have that love and passion for athletics, most likely. And so we came up with this thing. I said, Sydney, you need to be dating these guys that are the sixth man. And I was specific. I said, not in college.
I was like, what do you mean sixth man? My mind was blown.
Yeah. I said sixth man in high school. It means everything but maybe being the absolute spectacular athlete. But that's kind of the model in your head. Somebody that's humble, somebody that works hard, somebody that loves athletics, somebody who was probably a good, decent student at least. And then hopefully that translates to later in life. And so this philosophy of what do I want? Well, every college athlete is not this egomaniac that we're kind of describing here.
Yeah, I've run into quite a few.
Yeah, well, because most are. And we're playing a percentage game.
Yeah.
As you're going out, that was my advice to you, is you need to try to start looking more towards the sixth man and all these things, not college, and that's going to be difficult.
It hasn't been my initial way of looking at it.
Right.
So I've been trying to look for the sixth man.
Right.
I really have tried hard. I haven't found the sixth man.
So let's talk about Guy B for a second from last weekend. Is he a college athlete?
He is. He plays college baseball.
Okay. Is he the exception? Is he the unicorn of college athletes?
I'm still trying to figure that out, on getting more information on that. I'm not sure in high school if he was considered the sixth man, but in college, I think maybe a little more so. I'm still trying to figure out more on if he can fit the sixth man mold.
We have an example in our family. My nephew, Daniel, we're all kind of cousins because we've gone and done so many parties. All the cousins kind of think of their cousins, even though they're not really related.
It's just easier to say, that's my cousin.
Right. But Daniel was kind of like the sixth man in high school, went on a mission, came back, and has turned into a college baseball player. But he has very much the sixth man mentality. He treats women well. So you can find college athletes. He's just kind of a unicorn in that particular situation, right? He didn't grow up silver spoon and being recruited. And he had to work really hard and go to a community college, and still had to work really hard to get. And he's not playing at a huge college. He's playing it at an NAIA school, probably the smaller the school. And
I know.
But you still got to be looking for that sixth man.
Sixth man hunt.
You think that makes sense to you after your experiences?
Yeah. When you said that and we had that conversation, because we had a very similar conversation about it, afterwards, my eyes opened a little wider. I was honestly kind of bumming after that whole situation. I was like, I really had a good feeling about it. And after hearing that, I was like, okay, I need to look for the sixth man. I can find him. It kind of opened my eyes into looking into other things that are more important than the man on the basketball team or the football team. It kind of opened my eyes to being, I think, more willing to give different guys guys different chances.
Right.
Not that that was a deal breaker, but.
Right. It really helped be able to some sort of context on like, oh, I shouldn't just count him out because he's not playing college athletics right now.
Yes, exactly. It kind of gave me a different perspective to look at it. Since I can sadly say that I haven't gone out with a 6-man, I haven't had the opportunity come to me yet.
Right. You're not asking 6 men out. The 6-man should be asking you out. This point.
Yes. The 6-man hasn't asked me out.
You're just more willing to
be open to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, however women use their wiles of getting guys to ask them out, there's something you guys do. It's not completely innocent. That you might be more willing to give that 6-man guy that treatment.
To give him the hint to ask me out.
Right. Men are kind of dumb.
Yeah, they are. Just kidding. Not you.
No.
No, but yeah, so
that's why we can't be friends, is we're kind of dumb. It's like, we're trying to be smart,
but yeah, so I'm open to the 6-man, hoping I can find him.
Well, and maybe as this gets published, more 6-men will start like going, hey.
Yeah, Lainey, create a form. Say 6-man form.
That would be so good.
We need proven statistics from high school to prove that you were the 6-man.
Yes, right. You better not have an S by your name in the scorebook. You can be the first one in. You may be able to start like 1 or 2 games if one of the starters is hurt.
So we'll see. I hope I can find the 6-man to go out with, and I can have that perspective of it, and I'll bring it back to the podcast.
Or be able to find the unicorn. Having that like, hey, I need somebody that's humble.
Yes.
Because you were starting to probably, or at least I got the feeling, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, if that's all you're going out with, then you're like going, well, every guy's a jerk, or every guy's self-centered, every guy treats girls like this. You start being okay with it.
Yeah, and I think that's what I kind of started to do with that college basketball player, was like, well, it's okay. Like,
yeah, it's okay. I go to a party and he doesn't treat me well.
That's a good point. I was going out with so many of those types of guys that was my perspective on the guys as a whole.
Yeah, you're like going, they're all kind of self-centered.
Yeah,
weirdos and Let's talk about that situation where you knew it went wrong. You knew something was wrong during that. Let's talk about that. It would have been okay for you to get up and say, hey, believe in your feeling.
Yeah,
I'm not your father, but I'm your uncle, and Lainey's here, and I'm her father. If she was ever in that particular situation, or if you're ever in that situation, trust yourself. Don't explain it away.
Yeah.
Because what that is that's the light of Christ. It's the Holy Ghost. It's somebody signaling you that there's something wrong.
Yeah, that's very true. I wish I did say something sooner or trust my feelings. I think so often before leading up to that, I'm always like, nope. I was like a one and done date kind of girl, because I was like, I just know what I'm looking for.
Right.
And so then I think I reached a point where I was just tired of going on dates, and I was just like, maybe I just need to like give them more grace.
Right.
And so that's what I was like trying to battle in my head. Okay, it's okay. Like,
and I love that. I love you being willing to work outside the box that you had. But at the same time, I really want you to trust that feeling.
Yeah.
It's okay to give them grace, but it's not okay to let them affect your grace. It's okay to, give him grace and let men have grace, but walk that fine line. That's when you got to go back and you got to just stop.
For sure. I agree with that. I needed to trust my gut a little bit more.
Because you got a good gut.
Yeah.
And most people have a really good gut, where we get ourselves, like even in life, as you grow up and go older and you start working in your family and jobs and all that kind of stuff. I think we let the world define what my gut should feel like versus me. One of the ways we get messed up with it is, we're really encouraged to listen to our feelings and be courageous in sharing the information about the church and treating people with kindness. And I think we get a little mixed up. That's one thing. It's the same field, but it's a different side of the fence. We're out in the same field, and we need to trust our feelings when we're prompted to go help somebody or go serve somebody or say a kind thing to a friend. That feels weird, and you're like, I don't want to be rejected.
Yeah,
and
you talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, you talk yourself out of it. It's the same field, and the Spirit's still speaking to you. That's Him motivating you to go do it, and then you overcoming that, and then you jump to that other side where it's the Spirit's trying to do something else to you. It's all kind of feels weird, but your gut's telling you different things, but they're very similar because you're uncomfortable. And I think you don't listen to the signal as much.
Yeah. I agree. I can testify your intuition is never wrong.
Yeah.
It's never led me astray. As much as you try to push it back, it keeps coming up until you finally trust it.
Everybody, your whole life is taking in experiences and learning from those experiences.
Yeah.
Like that. You learn two ways. You learn by counselor or you learn by consequence. You learn by consequences in that one, but now you're offering counsel at this point, and you've learned something that I want to be very careful about. So this is
stay tuned.
Let's stay tuned. Yeah.
Date with Guy B.
We're probably running out of things to chat a whole lot about, but I think we need to have Kennedy come on.
Yeah. Let's get her on.
We've done 2.
Yeah.
Let's get her on.
Let's get her on. Somebody else bare their soul.
I'll talk to her
You'll talk to
today
her,
and
okay.
say, clear your schedule for Wednesday.
I think it's been good just to have,
Yeah,
us for these first 2, kind of introduce our lives and kind of the situation to assess. And then I think kind of doing that, add in a person, and then maybe 2 weeks we don't have anyone, and then add another person and something like that. It doesn't have to be that, but
Yeah. And because we need to have Riley on, and
We'll get Riley on, have a little twin action.
then the big star.
The big star,
You know who I'm thinking about?
Chris.
No, that would be scary.
I think that would actually be good to get him on. He has his own perspective on a lot of things. Where I get my one and done perspective from, I blame it on my dad.
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely your
Because
dad.
I told my dad that guy B, he didn't open my car door. He's like, don't go out with him again. I can't believe it. I'm like, okay, Dad, it wasn't that big of a deal.
I've wondered for so long. I'm here listening to your stories and know Uncle Chris. I just wonder how much he's done for your mom. Like what did it look like while they were dating? Was he doing all the same things
Yes.
that really?
Yes. Yeah.
He is right or wrong. So,
Right or
yeah.
wrong, right? Yeah. No,
Black and
he was
white.
doing all these things. Every now and then, Chris will be he'll say one thing and do another. These things that are pretty black and white, that are black and white for most people.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing in his ability to do the right thing, the right reason, and hold to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Who was the big star?
Oh, the big star's Matt.
Oh, yes. We need to get Mac on. Yeah, she would love it.
I guess that's it.
Stay tuned
Stay tuned for more for
what's
Kennedy.
to come. For
For
Kennedy,
Ken,
yes.
yeah.
Stay tuned for Kennedy. We'll get her on. But yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do it again.
Okay.